really different, live a better college life. We have the meditation club, as Jay mentioned before, the purpose of the meditation club, which is also an important thing to think about, as we said before. Without stillness of mind and controlling our thoughts, we cannot control the body, we cannot control anything. And that is a major problem. And if anybody realizes this, he is going to be very successful in everything. The third club is the so-called Students Tutoring Students, which is really successful. Already I heard there's about 40-50 members. And students that they have an A+ tutor other students chemistry, but now they expanded it to biology and to other classes, and they're thinking to even go to high schools and elementary schools in the city. And that's a total selfless service. It's very beautiful because students that they teach, the other students, they learn what they do not know, and some of them discover that they love teaching and become teachers, and that again increases collaboration between the students and reduces the competition, brings community and better life on campus. And thanks to Jonathan, that really he jumped into this from the beginning, and very fast in the time since he started. A lot of things have happened. Of course, there's a need too. Students need to, you know, they need tutoring, and there's so many services at the university for tutoring, but this is different because it's between students. And I think this idea is done with love and compassion for other students. It's going to catch up, it's going to go to other universities. And then we have the fourth club, which Luke, with his own proposal, came and said, I want to start a club of education without the teacher really saying anything to him. And he actually created a beautiful title with this kind of statement there. They already have a couple of meetings, and the future of this club could be incredible because it's going to really do what we're trying to do in this an hour here to promote these ideals about community and education and all these beautiful things. So here is a summary of things that educators can do, but you see, it's not just what educators can do. The students must respond, because if an educator does all these things and the students don't respond, then there is no result. So yes, all these are beautiful things, and a lot of students have responded and a lot of beautiful things are happening, but we need to keep to respond to these callings. And then we saw the incredible things that students have done by just watching their teachers, what they do. They themselves become power machines with compassion and efficiency. They can really bring community and closeness on campus, which is something which every student's heart is missing, and in general in the world that we live in with so much technology. One word about parents' role. We support our children not in order to fulfill our unfulfilled dreams and desires, but in order to find their true to find their true place in life in the future. And we, as parents, we really need to realize that we should support financially, morally, ethically, in any way possible our children to really find what is the major that they like to do and what they can do, and then go and apply it in their lives without thinking about ourselves. And that's something that the students really need. They have a lot of tears and a lot of pain, confessing this pain many times, and we as parents really need to take care of that, and educators should bring that help by even talking to parents. That relationship between parents, teachers, students, and administrators is not really strong enough as supposed to be. It needs to be really much stronger. Otherwise, the good buildings we have, with so much $1 million we make, these are the cars we're talking about. We need to have these things, but most importantly is the community, the human values, the universal values. We can have incredible expensive buildings, and we can have extremely expensive technology, and we can have the best air conditioners, but if our minds are not air conditioned and we are not peaceful and we have a lot of anxiety and stress, not only we're going to be able to finish up what we started, but we're going to help people and ourselves. So that's something important we need to think about. And the final thoughts is that education leaders, yes, they should truly hardly try to base their efforts on the true essence of education. Students, teachers, administrators, and parents should really make an effort to perceive the true essence of education, which has been lost in our days. And if such role models as those mentioned today here, all the students, are multiplied and set as an example for their fellow beings, the darkness now prevailing in education and society in general will be dispelled. And this is the wish of the teacher today. May the tree of education be firmly rooted in the soil of human values and care for others. And let the teaching and the research be its leaves, and may the aroma of its flowers be kindness and truth, and may the happiness be and peace of mind be its fruits. And now we can have some discussion, questions and answers. And before we go into that, I would like to have the three students from the three clubs. We already heard Jake from the Meditation Club. I would like to have the other three students for 5-10 minutes to tell us about what their vision is, what they have gained by doing this, how the students responded to their efforts, so they will inspire other students to do such things, beautiful things. So who wants to come first? Luke, okay.
Yeah. Hello. Sorry about that. My name is Luke, and my club is called Life Ideals and Values in Education, or the LIVE Club, as it spells out. I'm in my first year here at UC Davis, and last quarter I was in the teacher's Chem 2A class, actually, and was inspired by his words to create sort of a forum where students can get together and ask questions mostly related to our education here. The real questions that seem to be avoided that need to be asked. And right now we have had 2 meetings, and our meetings are very informal. They're sort of like this setting. We like to sit in a circle and not really have any particular person leading per se. I'll take the lead when the discussion dries up a little bit, but we really like to encourage a setting where everyone feels like they're contributing their own ideas to the group, which is really the way that education needs to get back to eventually. And one of our concrete ideas for improving education here, since you can look at some of the big goals and they're a little tricky to take on at first, a more tangible goal and reachable goal, even right now, is a program we're going to implement here at UC Davis called the D-Dave program, which is based off the D-Cal program over at UC Berkeley, and has been going on there for many years. And the D-Cal program essentially are similar to freshman seminars, only in the sense that they're very small courses, typically no more than 20 people. But the key difference here is that these courses are taught by undergraduate students, and anyone is free to take them. They're pass, no pass, 1-unit classes, and they're signed off by any faculty member, and essentially they can be on any range of topics. If you look up some, even this semester going on at UC Berkeley, you'll see some ranging from Greek folk dance to, I think meditation is actually a really popular one, to computer programming classes, and maybe like strategies in StarCraft or something like that. So really the sky's the limit here for these. And really the question that needs to be asked is why don't we have them here? They've been going on for so many years over there. They're very successful, require nearly zero in terms of funding, and are entirely possible to get going here once we have the awareness built up. So with that, if you're interested, please feel free to just talk to me after this. I can get your email, and if you have any questions, feel free to approach. Thanks.
Hi everyone, my name is Sherry, and I am in my first year here at UC Davis. I am currently a declared, and I am a part of the music club, which is still very brand new. We've had one very informal meeting where a couple people showed up, but it was nice to we just kind of talked about like music in our lives and the role that it plays in our lives. And this whole thing started when I went to the gardens one day, and I brought my ukulele and my friend, and we sang a song for Professor Tikakis and everyone at the gardens, and he really liked it, so he approached me with this idea to create this music club, and I thought it was a wonderful idea. Winter quarter was kind of rough to get it up and started, but we finally got it started this quarter, and basically it's just trying to get in touch with music. I know a lot of people that used to know how to play music, and it's kind of sad to say that you used to know how to play music. And so the club is kind of for those people who want to like rediscover music talent. At our first meeting, we had one guy that came up to me and he said, oh, I used to sing a lot, and then I stopped, and I want to get back to that. And so that was very inspiring. I got him to sing, and it was very nice. But music, you don't really think about it, but it does play a very important role in life. It's a huge de-stressor. It's kind of a form of meditating almost. But like I know when I get really stressed out and I have a lot of things on my mind, I pick up my ukulele and I play and I sing, and it never fails to put me in a better mood. And I haven't been playing for very long. I kind of feel like I've been missing out. I picked up my ukulele this past summer, but I kind of fell in love with it, and it's been playing a pretty important role in my life personally. It helps me get through a lot of tough times. And so I kind of want to spread that love to other students and kind of help them get in touch with their musical side. Yeah, that's it.